What are the types of questions in the PRINCE2 7th edition practitioner exam? Let's learn that in this video. Hello, I am Ray and I am a PRINCE2 7th edition foundation and practitioner certified project manager with over 15 years of experience in project management. Currently, I work as a program manager in the UK and I'm an authorized training provider or an ATO for Axelos and PeopleCert, who are the accreditation organizations for the PRINCE2 certification. So PRINCE2, which means Projects in Controlled Environment, is a complete framework for managing projects across various industries and disciplines. The framework is in its 7th edition now, and you should think of PRINCE2 7th edition as a roadmap guiding you as a project manager from the very start of a project all the way to its successful delivery, maintaining a constant focus on the outcomes and the benefits the project will generate upon completion. Now, if you are planning to write the PRINCE2 Practitioner exam, it's extremely crucial for you to understand the types of the questions that you will get in the exam, right? So let's try to learn a bit more on this topic through this video. However, please note that as a part of this video, the intent is not to solve a particular PRINCE2 question, okay? But to comprehend the type and the nuance of the questions typically presented to you in the PRINCE2 Practitioner exam.
Now, in the PRINCE2 Practitioner exam, the types of questions are basically of two categories, okay? So the first type of question is a classic scenario type question, which we will see in a moment that how these type of questions look like. And the second type of question is the matching type question, okay? So if you see, it is quite simplistic in terms of the categorization of the types of questions that you will get in the PRINCE2 exam. So effectively, there are two categories only. Either you can get a classic scenario type question or you can get a matching type question. Now note guys that all these questions are based on the one scenario that you will get at the beginning of your exam, okay? So that goes without saying. All the questions are multiple choice questions, okay? So there are no subjective questions or text based questions where you need to write a paragraph, okay? Or maybe explain some logical reasoning, okay? So nothing of that sort. All questions are multiple choice and there is only one correct answer, okay? Sometimes there may be multiple correct answers. So maybe in one question, the question stem might itself mention, so out of the 4 options below, choose 2 or choose 3. Okay, in terms of the correct responses. So those are also multiple choice types, but they have more than one correct answer. But you need not to worry, because in those type of questions, the question stem will categorically tell you that how many answer choices are correct in the given set of options, and basis that you can make your selection. Next, questions are generally verbose guys. Okay, so you will not get only one-liner or two-liner questions. The average length of the questions in the PRINCE2 certification exam is at least 3 to 4 lines. Okay, looks like a small paragraph sometimes. Okay, so you need to get used to answering such type of questions correctly. Okay, and that will require a lot of reading comprehension ability from your side. Moving on, for the majority of the questions, there is only one correct answer, as I mentioned. Okay, but there may be some questions, very rarely, where there will be multiple correct answers, but the question stem will itself mention that to you. And finally, there are no negative markings, and for that reason, I would always recommend that you do not leave any question unanswered, because if you leave a question unanswered, the exam will consider it to be incorrect. Now moving on, let's look at an example of a classic scenario type question, which is a 1-mark question. Okay, so let's understand the detail of this example. Okay, we'll not solve this question as a part of this lecture, but we'll understand and try to comprehend the way in which questions will be presented in your exam. Okay, now at the top of each question in your exam, you will see the knowledge area. Okay, whether that question is coming from the principles knowledge area or the themes knowledge area or the processes knowledge area. Okay, so that makes life a bit easier, that you know that from which portion of the syllabus you are solving the question. Okay, moving on, there will be a stem of the question which will have a paragraph, as you see here, and there will be a question which will be following the paragraph. Okay, so for example, there is a scenario that is provided here, which is for a software upgrade project, and mind it that this is the scenario that will be your overall exam scenario as well. Okay, now in this principles question, the exam has given you a situation, based on that scenario, and it is asking you that is it an appropriate action of the defined roles and responsibilities principle and why. Okay, so it is not only asking you to tick a yes or no, that yes, I think that it is a right application of the defined roles and responsibilities principle, or maybe no, I do not think that it is an appropriate application of the defined roles and responsibilities principle, but it is asking you to explain that why you think so. And there are 4 options provided. Now, since this is a 1-mark question, you are expected to select any one answer choice from A, B, C, or D. So this is an example of a classic scenario type question in your PRINCE2 Practitioner certification exam.
Now, over the next few weeks, I would be publishing some tutorial videos on actual PRINCE2 Practitioner questions for you to practice as well on this channel. That will provide you with the exact look and feel of solving real PRINCE2 Practitioner questions based on the actual syllabus. So make sure you are subscribed to this channel and keep your bell notifications on. Now, let's look at the second type of question for your PRINCE2 Practitioner exam, which is a matching or drag and drop type of question.
Now let's move on to discuss the matching type question, which are typically of 3 marks. Okay. So how the question goes, let's have a look. So at the beginning of the question, you will see the knowledge area from where the question is being presented to you. Okay, so if you see this question, it is coming from the knowledge area of the risk theme in the PRINCE2 Practitioner exam syllabus. There will be a situation presented to you as a part of the overall scenario of your exam, and based on that, it will ask you to select 3 options from the list in the right hand side based on the list provided in the left hand side. Now the contents of the list on the right hand side and the left hand side might change with respect to the type of matching questions that you will get, but overall, if we try to understand the way in which these questions are designed, effectively you need to do 3 sets of matching. Okay, and that is why these questions carry 3 marks. Okay, now you can say for an example that 1 is C, that gives you 1 mark, 2 is B, that gives you another mark. For 3, if you are selecting option E, that gives you 1 mark. So in total, you get 3 marks for solving this question. Now mind it guys, each of the set of matching that you are doing will get you 1 mark. Okay, so for example, if you get the first matching correct, but the next 2 matchings incorrect, you still get 1 mark for this question. So let's say these are questions which are marked partially. Okay, let's take another example. If you get the first matching correct, the second matching you get it incorrect, again the third matching you get correct. So in this situation, from this set of 3, you get 2 marks. Okay, so this is one important thing that you need to note about while answering such type of questions. Another important item which I want to highlight it here lies in this sentence of the question. Okay, read what it's saying here. Each activity can be used once, more than once, or not at all. Okay, now let's say that for any one of the statements on the left hand side, you have identified option A as the correct matching. Now that does not mean that for question number 2, option A is off the table. Okay, so for question number 2 also, option A might be the correct answer. Theoretically, for question number 3 also, option A might be the correct answer. Now on the other side of the spectrum, let's say after solving question number 1, 2 and 3, you see that option C has not been used at all. That is also perfectly fine. Okay, and that is why this sentence mentions that each activity can be used once, more than once, or not at all. Now, as we move on, guys, I will give you some robust strategies and principles which you can use while solving these type of questions quite easily and quite quickly in the exam. Now, in the actual PRINCE2 exam interface, while you are solving such kind of questions, there will be boxes like these provided on the left-hand side of the screen. Okay, and these options will be draggable options. So you can actually press your mouse on one of the options, drag it, and put it here. Maybe place your mouse on option number E, drag it and put it with question number 3. Okay, so that way in your PRINCE2 exam, you need to drag these options and put it in these boxes which will be provided in the exam interface. So in a way, these kind of questions can also be named as drag and drop questions. Okay, but effectively the principle of matching remains the same.
I hope the video was helpful for you. Please keep an eye out for the next video within this series, where we will be solving some actual PRINCE2 questions from the PRINCE2 exam syllabus. Now, if you are willing to get PRINCE2 certified, you can reach out to me via the details as mentioned on the screen. I am an ATO, which means an authorized training provider or authorized training organization for PRINCE2, and I can share with you further details about my training materials and services in case if you are interested. If you have liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you again in the next one.